there, Delmarva. Thanks for joining us today on Coast Life. We're so happy you're here, and we are your hosts. I'm Paige Marley.
I'm Leah Rizzo, halfway through the week.
Yeah.
Almost done the year. I always think this time of year is fun because everybody's just kind of confused on when and where they are, because the time leading up to and in between, like Christmas and the New Year, is like fictional to everybody. But it's also kind of where we start to see those year-end reviews, you know?
Yeah.
I always think those are fun. Good time to check in with yourself. See how far or how little we've come since the beginning of 2023.
You're being optimistic. When you said end of year review, I'm like, oh man, it's when I got to think back, like all my mistakes, the money I didn't save, the resolution I didn't really stick to. And
I always just think it's kind of interesting, the cultural shifts that you may see either at the beginning or end of a decade, but even over the beginning and end of a year.
Yeah, definitely, yes. What would you say the vibes were this year, Leah?
The vibes, I feel like this year might have been a little bit all over the place. I'm even trying to think back to how 2023 felt like it started, and I feel like, at least personally, I think there was a lot of just unclarity.
Sure.
Things were very foggy at the beginning of 2023, and now I can kind of see where I'm going with some things. So I think it's been a year of seeing those clouds clear out a little bit.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
But according to dictionary.com.
Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute. We're talking about vibes because, take it away.
Yes, dictionary.com has defined the vibe of the year as era, you know, the word, they said vibe of the year, but it's kind of a word of the year, I guess, and no question as to why.
If you don't know why. Eras tour.
That's a big part of that. I know on social media you see all kinds of people that'll say, I'm in my villain era, I'm in my girly era, I'm in my whatever era, and that's sort of taken on a life of its own, but I think there's no question that it started and will end with Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour.
Yes, probably. This is almost like when Taylor won Time Person of the Year. It's like, you can be mad all you want. I honestly was a little over it, but it's also like you can't deny, whether you love or hate her, that it took over this year. This does lead to the question, what era are you in right now?
Ooh, what era am I in right now? That's a good question. I think I'm in the era of personal growth.
Oh, good.
I think it's been a minute.
I love that, though.
Yeah.
That's
what about you?
I think earlier this year, I actually was kind of in this era of like, I'm going to make so many people happy, and I'm going to do this and this. And actually,
the people-pleasing era.
People-pleasing era, I was. And now I'm kind of in this era of like, not putting myself first, but I think I'm in this like, I'm just going to call it my change era.
Sure.
I'm changing, hopefully, for the better.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we always say putting yourself first as if it's kind of a bad thing, like it has negative connotations, but you always kind of think back to the, like, airplane analogy of you can't help others unless you put your mask on first.
Exactly.
So, like, that is kind of the rule of thumb, that take care of yourself so that you have the energy and capacity to take care of others if that's what you would like to do.
Yeah. And I do think that's going to be a lot of parents' New Year's resolution this year, is really trying to focus more on themselves, because I think if you are a better version of yourself, you're going to be a better everything, better parent, better friend, better spouse, and that's what parents are saying that they're doing this year. They are setting parent-specific New Year's resolutions. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, a lot of parents were looking to try to be more patient. And I mean, I'm sure every parent kind of feels that way when you've got little kids. The baby phase is one thing, but once they can start walking, talking, give attitude back a little bit, maybe that's where you start feeling that kind of frustration with your kids. And maybe you feel like, oh, I'm such a bad parent, I have to dial it back. But I think everybody feels that way. I
think I'm adding that to my New Year's resolution this year, is being more patient. I've noticed I'm just not as patient as I used to be. An issue, I'm working on it.
Yeah, and less phone time, screen time was another one that parents were adding, and honestly, that's another one that I do want to add to my list. I feel like COVID, I started getting really bad with my screen time, and I haven't quite reversed that yet, even though we're like well into post-pandemic times.
Right, definitely. Yeah, do you have any specific New Year's resolutions that you haven't set before that you're doing? Is screen time one of them?
Screen time, I think, is one of them. I've actually already started working on one of the goals that I always set for the new year, and I'm always like, I'm going to be fit, I'm going to be healthy, and like come January 1st, I immediately kind of throw those to the wayside. So I've already started building my workout routine, building my healthier eating habits routine. So, and I think just being more patient with myself, that it's not always an all or nothing situation. And I think that's where I always get caught up, is that, I'll work out for maybe 2-3 weeks, and then I kind of hit that low point and I'm like, I don't feel like it. And then if I don't work out for 2, maybe 3 days, and I'm like, it's all over, I quit, I'm done, I'm never getting back on the horse. So last week I was a little sick. I didn't work out a couple days, but this week, like, I'm getting back into it. So
good.
making baby steps.
There you go.
That's
what it's all about. Yeah, I think I always every year I'm like, I'm going to save money, I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat better, which I've done okay with. But this year I'm adding that patience one. I think because it's like this year of change. I get married next year. The family's on the brain. It's like I want to start bettering myself for the future Paige, because she's going to be changing a lot. Hopefully,
got to take care of future Paige.
Yeah. Hopefully, you're taking care of the future you as well.
Yes. Yeah. I think I want to. Listen a little bit more to, like, I feel like I listen, but I also feel like I talk a lot, and it's sort of my brain is going two at a time.
Sure.
So a lot of times I am listening while I'm also thinking at the same time, and I when I ask what, or I ask you to repeat yourself, and then halfway through I'm like, oh, and I say what you said. It's not because I didn't hear you, it just took a minute for my brain to process, but I think I'm gonna try and just sit with that one more second, let the brain process before I ask what.
A lot of people could do that though, you're not alone in that. A lot of people I think could work on that. So what's funny is I was gonna be like, it'll be fun, let's ask our viewers what they think our New Year's resolution should be.
Oh God, yes.
I don't know if I wanna hear that or not. I'm not in my sensitive era, okay? I'm like, oh, well, no, wait, I am in my sensitive era.
Yes, yeah.
I'm in my too sensitive era, I can't take the heat, so maybe next year I'll ask you guys what you think we should change.
There we go. Yeah. I like that.
Thanks.
And sort of briefly, and in the same vein before we dive into the show today, Paige now versus Paige when she was just 18 years old. What are some of the similarities? What are some of the differences that you're seeing as today's Paige?
Thank goodness I am not 18 anymore. 18-year-old Paige was fun. She was a good friend, but man, she was not as confident as Paige right now, and I wish she was. That would have made being 18 a lot better.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about you, 18-year-old Leah?
Yeah, it's sort of bittersweet for 18-year-old Leah, because I feel like there were a lot of areas in like the creative realm that I haven't been able to dedicate time to, and like where I'm at, I feel like I've lost it.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't come up with these stories that I was coming up with when I was 18, and like I just haven't been able to reactivate like that part of the brain.
Sure.
But I do think I'm a better friend these days than I was at 18. I think I am more aware of other people and their needs than I was at 18, not in an entirely selfish way, but in an 18-year-old selfish way. Your brain's not done developing.
Exactly.
So I think I have become, my situational awareness both of people around me has increased since I was 18.
Yeah, well maybe that could help you guide if you haven't picked your New Year's resolution yet. What did you love about yourself when you were younger that you're missing and you want to bring back? Maybe for couples, bring back some romance.
Yeah.
You know, some spark for parents, you know, kind of that fun side of you. So let us know what you end up doing, and we'll check in with you next year.
Yes, but we've got a great show to get to today.
Yes.
Our field correspondent Maya Henry is going to tell us what's coming up on Coast Life.
Coming up today on Coast Life, planning for a fun place to take the family? We have a local zoo with multiple events for everyone to enjoy. And in need of an afternoon pick-me-up? There's a local business with a perfect gift to lift your spirits. And want to experience a good laugh? Paige and Leah have some jokes to make you chuckle. All that and more when Coast Life gets back.
Coast Life is brought to you by BB Healthcare, Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, Preston Automotive Group, Shell Brothers, and the Parker Group.
Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my! Well, you won't find any of those here on Delmarva.
No.
There are plenty of interesting wild animals that you will find with our friends at Barn Hill Preserve, or previously known as Barn Hill Preserve. They are joining us on the couch today. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
And of course, Poseidon, this handsome little gentleman, is joining us today.
You got it, buddy. Oh, he was here.
We've got one of our otter friends. Now, you guys are actually doing a little bit of a rebrand here. Tell us, you know, what Barn Hill was, who you're becoming, and why this changed.
When we first came up to Delaware, we were, you know, a sister company of Barn Hill Preserve in Louisiana, and at this part now in our time of growing, we kind of feel like it's time to spread our own wings and really create our own brand. So that's the main big reason why we want to change the name and change the logo and everything, is just to be able to create something for the area here that kind of brings the community in and gives them something to be able to, you know, say it's theirs.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. But I think with change, sometimes people get scared.
Yeah.
They get worried. So what else is changing with you all? But also what's not changing?
Yeah, so I mean, really, as far as things that are changing go, it's going to be our logo's changing, our name's changing, but everything else is staying the same.
Awesome, perfect.
So, you know, your gift cards that you purchased before, they're still going to be working. All of our experiences we still want to keep, and we want to try to add some new ones as well with the new release.
Fantastic.
Nice. Can we talk about any of those new things you want to add, or not yet?
I don't know if we're actually talking about any of them
Okay,
yet.
all right,
fine.
Fair enough.
Trying to build the suspense up
Gotcha.
for it.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
we
have a
want
lot
to
of
be there
new
when you
things
are.
coming. We have a lot of new things coming in the new year, new experiences, as Josh said. But if you stay tuned to our social media, that's where you can find out the latest and greatest from all of our stuff, and find really cute videos and photos of these otters and the other animal ambassadors.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, so Poseidon is part of one of the experiences that people can book, which is the Otter Swim.
Yes.
What are some of the other, because I feel like a lot of people don't even know that you guys are where you are and have these experiences that people can book and you know, have this really, truly unforgettable moment with wildlife that they might not otherwise get a chance to meet up close and personal.
Definitely. I mean, so the big thing about Barnhill Coastal Wilds, it's going to be hard for me to get used to it. But I mean, even Barnhill in Louisiana and us up here, the thing that we've always honed in on is trying to give people that connection to wildlife. And so everything that we try to do is giving you the opportunity to get up and close to animals that you usually wouldn't, because we feel that like once you feel how soft an otter is, or you get to be able to share a pool with them, it creates a strong connection for you. And so all of our experiences are going to include some form of that. So our encounter tours are going to be our most common thing, and that's kind of like the general mission, to be able to come in where we're going to be able to walk you around the park. You get to see the animals, you get to interact with some, hold them, feed them, all sorts of cool things. But then we have all of our add-ons. You can go feed a sloth, you can be able to pet a capybara, you can hang out with an aardvark. So many cool things that we are able to offer that other parks don't.
Yeah. And who knew otters clean under your couch? That's right. You learn something new every day with you guys.
They're very good at finding things they're not supposed to.
Yes.
Yes, they're very mischievous.
That's so funny.
They are so cute. I'm obsessed. And I mean, you mentioned building that relationship between, you know, people and wildlife, and I think that is where a lot of times that fire gets lit for conservation, those conservation efforts. When you have that up close personal experience, I mean, you don't understand how this is the best day of my life when we get an otter in the studio.
Yeah, the energy in the studio is totally different, and it's really one of those things where we help to fuel a passion for wildlife and conservation in general, for young and old and just everyone that comes and visits. Anyone that loves animals, that's really what our park's all about.
It stays with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to have you spill all your secrets. Well, I do want you to spill your secrets, but when it comes to growing and then the next thing you maybe change or add on, could it be future of more animals, different animals we haven't seen?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, every year we're always looking to try to add some new critters, to our lovely home there, and so we are working very hard on getting some new friends to be able to be there for the new season.
He took my lipstick.
He's a little treasure hunter.
Finding more.
Poseidon is a little treasure hunter. We love it. Well, thank you guys. Coastal Wilds,
Yes. Right.
formerly Barnhill, at Barnhill Preserve. Thank you so much for coming in, bringing Poseidon. We love that he has that treasure hunting energy that he's going
Poseidon,
for. But
come. Oh, he got the mic.
maybe maybe you need a little bit of an energy boost coming up on Coast Life. We are chilling with our friends at Coffee Rendezvous, so don't go anywhere.
You're watching Coast Life, and I already know my favorite guest right beside me, Miss Wanda Guyton. How are you, Miss Wanda?
I'm doing well. How are you, Maya?
Pretty good. So the holidays are rolling around, and I know people are looking for gifts. So tell us what you have paired with your coffee today.
Oh, so today we have this cute marshmallow board, and as you can see, you have the board that can be used as a charcuterie board. You have the marshmallow sticks with some cute little marshmallows here. This board would look very nice on in the holiday setting, right? With coffee and or cocoa.
So it's a little bit of everything for this one.
Yes,
so,
absolutely.
So what coffee are you thinking would be the best for the holidays?
I have a couple. Is that okay?
Yeah, name them, girl. Let's do it.
All right. First of all, my favorite, Sugar Plum Jubilee, which is flambéed brandy over dried apricot with a sweet vanilla finish. We also have morning prayer, which is full of chocolate, caramel, and sweet cream vanilla with a hint
like
of
the way that
coconut.
sounds,
Yes, it's a one of my customer favorites right now. So those are two, especially that I think would go well, serve well as holiday coffees.
And with your coffee, you have to have a cup.
Oh, absolutely.
So what kind of cups do you have? Do you think will go great this holiday season?
Oh wow. Well, first of all, inside of not too shabby, you're going to have your choice of mini cups. Some holiday themed cups.
Yeah.
Some are not. But for instance, this nice 302 tumbler. It's so cute. I like the blue color. The 302 sign. Yep. So that's one. We also have our Farm Boy.
Oh, I love this design. That's so cute.
Yes, it is. It is. I love the black and white theme, right? So the Farm Boy cup would look cute.
Definitely. And when you have coffee, you have to put something in it. Some people like a lot. Some people don't like anything. I see you have something over there. Tell us about that.
Oh, yes. So this is one of my favorites right now.
Okay.
It's a homemade vanilla extract by Harrington Homes. And you can find that here in Not Too Shabby as well. This is absolutely delicious.
And that one's all natural, right?
Yes, all natural.
Perfect.
2 ingredients.
2 ingredients.
Two
and
ingredients.
It tastes good.
It tastes amazing.
I think I'm gonna have to pick some of that up. That
Yes.
sounds awesome.
Yes, yes.
Wonderful. So for the people that have never heard of your shop or are looking for a nice pick-me-up in the morning, how can they reach you, Miss Wanda?
Yep, they can first start online by going to www.coffeerendezvous.com. They can visit us at our location in Rehoboth in the Tanger Outlet Malls of Surfside is the one that we're located in.
Yeah.
Or they can come here to Not Too Shabby in Milford.
Hey, awesome. And you told me you have a great deal going on. Tell us about that before we head to break.
Yes, for the love of our decaf coffee drinkers, we're running a special now, half for decaf. So buy decaf coffee for half price, half for decaf.
I like the way that sounds. All right, guys, so you know where you're heading for this holiday season, for all your gifts, and if you just need a little pick-me-up or something to wake you up in the morning. But guys, we have so much more fun coming up right after the break.
This segment of Coast Life was brought to you by Coffee Rendezvous.
Maybe you've experienced when a loud sound goes off, or maybe you're sitting in silence and all of a sudden you hear that annoying ringing in your ears. You know the sound, right?
Hopefully you don't, but I think a lot of us do.
I think a lot of us have experienced it at least one point and another, and it's usually brief. But unfortunately, for some people out there, that ringing in the ears is constant. And when you have that constant ringing, it's actually called tinnitus. And we have somebody here to talk a little bit more about it, to tell us more about what this is, what causes it. Dr. Mast with Mast Audiology is joining us on the Coast Life couch. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming in, because actually this came from a viewer that was very interested in learning some of the treatment options for tinnitus, because it is something that not a lot of people know about, not a lot of people know what to do about. So first, tell us what it is.
So pretty much any sound in your head that is, ringing, humming, buzzing. Some people actually hear music, like full-blown orchestra, one of my patients. But anything that is in your head that only you can hear would classify under that umbrella of tinnitus.
Interesting.
So.
And I did call it tinnitus earlier.
Either or.
It's not that. So I do think I've heard people mention that.
Yeah, both are fine, but most of my professors use tinnitus.
So what are some of the things that cause that sound that's happening in your head?
So the most common cause is hearing loss that's not being treated for the most part. So noise damage for sure. And that's why, after like a loud concert or a gunshot, something like that, that is pretty much your ear telling you that damage has happened to the nerve, essentially. So, but also medications can cause that, unhealthy kind of blood pressure issues, things like that. So you can have other causes, but most of the time, it is untreated hearing loss.
Interesting.
Did not know about the blood pressure.
And when does it start to get to be a concern where you should see someone like yourself? Because if you leave, like you said, a concert or maybe a gun range, you're going to have that ringing, but it goes away. So at what point should you be like, okay, this has been around for too long?
Yes. So temporary threshold shifts are what causes the temporary tinnitus. So basically what's happening is you've still done damage to the system, you've still damaged your nerve, and it caused a temporary shift in hearing. However, we have a lot more research now that kind of says temporary threshold shifts are still causing permanent damage. So either way, you still want to be being very mindful, and if it goes on for more than a few minutes, you probably should get it checked. Because you probably have more permanent damage than you think.
So how should people get in touch with you when it comes to when it's time to see an audiologist?
Yeah, so essentially you can reach out through our website or call, but basically we start with a hearing test to figure out what exactly is going on, what are we working with, that sort of thing. We do have patients who the high frequency loss that they have is high enough that traditionally, like 20 years ago, we probably would have said there's not a whole lot we can do yet, but now we actually do have hearing aids that reach into those ultra high frequencies, and so we are able to actually provide some relief with hearing aid technology if there's a loss, and if there's no loss, sometimes actually even still hearing aid technology, or there are tinnitus maskers that you can wear either at night or all day depending on how bad it is, to kind of, it puts out a sound that almost negates the sound in your head.
Gotcha.
So but if there's no loss and it's not super bothersome, like keeping you up at night, driving you crazy, that sort of thing, really it's just protecting what you have.
And Dr. Mast, I just want to ask too, for Gino, before we let you go, who wrote in, that's our viewer who said he has it 24/7, it is every day, and he said he really can't find answers. Of course, we don't know his medical history, what he's already tried, but for someone like him who just is not finding answers, do you have any kind of quick recommendations for him, or maybe just advice on what he should try?
Definitely start with a hearing test.
Okay.
He needs to see like someone like our office with, for a hearing test to kind of look at him globally and holistically from a wider perspective. There are no medicines, there's no supplements, there's no drops. There's a lot of garbage on the internet that is very misleading, and all of those things you'll see say not FDA approved, there's no study we can prove this, like that kind of thing, because there are no studies that show that. Right. The only studies that actually show consistent results are the studies looking at hearing aid technology and stimulating the auditory nerve again in the areas where it's missing sound, because that's what's happening. You are hearing, the brain is actively seeking sound from the areas of the nerve that are no longer providing feedback because they're not being stimulated anymore. So because there's a loss. So because there's that hearing loss, you're not getting stimulation from that section of the nerve. So the brain is actively like, oh, there should be more information coming from that section. And it starts listening to brain noises, nerve firings, things like that. You're literally hearing brain noises. And so
the body and all that it does.
So when you introduce sound back at the volume it should be, and you stimulate that part of the nerve again, your brain stops doing that so much. It's not that it never happens, but and so it's not a cure because the loss is still there. But while you're wearing the hearing aids, it's not as bad because you are treating the loss, so you're treating the tinnitus as well.
Well, Dr. Mast, thank you so much for coming in. With Mast Audiology, clearly tons of knowledge and a lot of useful information for, I think, a lot of patients, probably more than we realize, that are out there that didn't know that there are treatment options available that are effective, and we love to see that you are helping take care of our community.
Absolutely.
And thank you to our viewer, Gino, too, for writing in. I think you're, of course, helping him, but all of our other viewers, if you have any questions or concerns, we love to bring people like Dr. Mast in to help you with what you're experiencing.
But coming up on Coast Life, we've got a lot of fun headed your way. We know we like a healthy debate. We are debating some holiday songs with the great debate when Coast Life gets back.
All right, Leah, what says Christmas more than a debate?
I mean, we're just getting you ready for, family dinner, that's all, because there's usually often some sort of debate, friendly or not. There's going to be some disagreements at dinner, so we're getting you prepared.
And today we're debating thank you. Sorry. It's okay. What is the best Christmas song?
Ooh.
Because here's the thing, there's only one or two right answers, and if you don't have the right answer, then people are going to fight you on it.
All right, well, let's see what the people are saying first, all right?
Please.
Because we love to hear from you, and on Facebook, we've gotten quite a few responses, and I don't agree with all of them, I will say that.
I don't agree with most of them.
Charles says David Bowie and Bing Crosby, their version of Little Drummer Boy, I think is what they're implying, not just those two artists as separate.
I would agree if it was them separate. actually. Bing Crosby just screams Christmas to me.
Well, yeah.
Duh. Right. If you don't like Bing Crosby, you probably don't like Christmas.
Low key, one of the voices of Christmas.
Exactly.
Although, not my favorite.
Hot take.
Brian says White Christmas, and Bing Crosby, the voice of Christmas.
You could do better, Brian.
You could do better. He says, but here's the reason why, though, and I can respect this. He said, it set the bar for Christmas songs to come. The ambience of the sound just takes you back in time. That's not to mention it's the all-time best-selling single.
I take back what I said, Brian. I can respect your opinion.
I can respect the argument. I'm glad that he actually provided an argument as well. Gary says the Christmas song is the best. All the sentiments of the season with one of the greatest voices ever.
Sure.
Nat King Cole.
Sure.
Often imitated but never duplicates. Merry Christmas to you.
Aw,
Thanks, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Taylor says, do they know it's Christmas? Taylor.
I have to agree, though, with part of it because it just is one of the catchiest songs. The beat, dun-dun-dun, it's just...
The beat is catchy.
You don't get it out of your head.
Just, it is not my favorite. It does not crack the list of my favorites.
Same.
It's pretty far from. So Taylor, I think we're gonna have to disagree on that one.
I'm halfway there with you.
Jean says the chorale that does the little drummer boy.
Okay.
The,
I love that one. I love that one. You don't like it?
Leah. And I'm a choir girl, and I think that's why, Leah. It's like Gregorian chant. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't go anywhere.
It gets you in the Christmas mood.
No, it doesn't. My Christmas mood is up here, and the slow, quiet, docile tones of the chorale singing little drummer boy don't do it for me.
You mean the nostalgic, beautiful voices of Christmas, the first ever Christmas? This is what the Great Debate does. It breaks up relationships.
I mean, even if it is the first ever Christmas, is the first thing you want to hear some little kid banging the drums?
Fair, but the song itself, chef's kiss.
The banger.
Yes.
All right. And then Paige, you chimed in too on
I had
Facebook.
to.
You want me to do your reveal or do you
Please.
want to share?
What did I say?
All right. You said, "Oh Holy Night," and "Do you hear what I hear?"
You just can't beat that.
I do love "Oh Holy Night." It's a beautiful
it's
song.
so good.
Celine Dion's version, Celtic Woman's version.
good.
There's a lot of those, but I gotta go with Gary. Nat King Cole, the Christmas song, is just. I mean, from that first. My heart melts, and his voice is just like if a voice could feel warm.
Yeah.
That's what Nat King Cole does with that song.
I can agree. So our final answers actually we agree on more than some of these other answers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think our
that's
final
good.
answers add up, but do you have a least favorite Christmas song?
No, I think I just like to go more so with the classics, like the things that just make you, like you said, you hear it and you just think, that's how I feel with Do You Hear What I Hear? Not to get all emotional on you guys. I cry when I hear it. I just cry. It makes me think of the actual first night of Christmas, Jesus was born. It just gets me feeling like that's the Christmas
Gets you
to
in the
me.
feels.
Do you know what I
Okay,
mean?
yeah.
Yes. And I think that's probably how you feel with that King Cole song where you're like, that's what Christmas is to me.
Yes, I
Look
would
at me
agree with
getting all.
that. Aw.
I know, I just love it.
Yeah, I do have a least favorite
Hit
though.
me.
I know, and I hate to be this guy, especially because I know one of our videographers loves this song, but the Christmas Time Is Here from the Peanuts.
Oh.
Kind of like the little drummer boy, that Christmas time.
No, the
is
Peanuts
here.
one stinks.
Oy, it's depressing.
Why do you like it? Which one? Who is it?
Is it? It's the worst. The worst song. So I'm sorry if that's your favorite, but I can't do it. And I let that out in some of my previous jobs. That's not my favorite song. And like every corner I turned during the holiday season, they would sing that song at me. So
I support you on that one.
Thank you.
Boring. We can do better.
all right, well, we love to hear from you. Make sure you chime in on our Facebook page. Bring your debate skills home.
Yeah.
Let us know how they go with you when you go home for the holidays this season. And we'll have some more fun, lighthearted, careless debates for you in the future.
That's right. But coming up right now in just a couple of minutes, we are talking to Zeke Clark. You guys remember that name, an incredible 3-year-old. He had something very tragic happen to him, but he's doing amazing.
Yes,
And
we love to hear that.
Yep, and we are talking to him in just a minute, so you do not want to miss that. All right, everybody, I'm going to take you back months ago, really, to...
Hard to believe.
Yeah, isn't it? Time flies. It was about 6 months ago. You probably remember the name Zeke Clark. He was involved in an accident in the Lewis area. And we got to meet Zeke and his family not too long ago. And we are so excited because we are bringing back Zeke and his mom to the Coast Life Couch. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Hi, thank you for having us.
Of course.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Now, I'm just so excited because when I went to go see Zeke downstairs, this kid was jumping, I mean, dancing, walking around. Zeke, you look incredible. And if people are surprised by this, if you don't mind just kind of sharing his story and what happened.
Yeah, for sure. So back in June, he had an accident. He jumped off the lawnmower, and my husband had to save his life. And it's been a journey to get to where we are now, but he is doing great. We have his... Oh yeah, his boot really saved him.
Wow.
Yeah, and we kept it, and it's a really cool
Oh wow,
thing
that's
to have.
interesting.
Good thing you have those boots.
Just cut my boot open.
It cut it a little bit, and it
gosh.
actually kicked off the mower.
Really?
Yeah, and it kicked off the engine.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So for those who don't know if it's okay, so yeah, the lawnmower did end up, Zeke ended up losing part of one of his legs.
Yes.
But that's incredible, the boot saved his other one.
Yeah.
Wow.
The boot.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
What an incredible story, and I know
That's
that,
skin right there.
Yeah. This
baby.
is your other leg. Yeah.
that is skin right there.
So how you feeling now, Zeke?
How are you feeling now?
This is solid metal.
Solid metal.
You're like a superhero.
How incredible is
This
that?
is metal right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a cool little story about these pants for Christmas.
Yes.
Our tailor in Lewis, Jen's tailor in the Matt's Fish Camp parking lot, she fixed his little elephant tail.
There you are.
Look, let's show them. Look, we're so nice. They fixed your elephant tail, and then what did they just fix? Show your pants. They made him really cool adaptive pants.
Oh my gosh, look
so
at
that he can wear his Christmas pants to Christmas Eve service.
How cool is that? That's
Just
amazing.
laying these two kids.
He's 3 years old.
You
Yeah.
are 3 years old?
Yes. And then he's gonna be 4.
Oh, what?
Yay.
Wow.
Yep, January 26th. Yeah.
Are you a
he's still
January
3.
birthday, Zeke? I'm
Yeah.
a January birthday too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, Zeke, I'm so glad. Thank you for showing us that you can stand and everything now because
Yeah.
I want to take you guys back when we first met you, Zeke.
Yeah. Rainbow colors. Look,
Zeke, you were in your wheelchair popping some wheelies and having fun in your wheelchair before, but now you're walking. How incredible is that?
And I got a new wheelchair.
Oh,
new wheelchair.
They're making him a new custom one.
The red one broke.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, you're getting bigger anyway,
Yeah.
so you would need a new one soon.
They still have one for them,
Okay.
so that just in case, he needs anything. But yeah, Zeke, show him how he can do an awesome jump. Can you show him?
Whoa!
Nice.
So where is he now, and compared to maybe where doctors expected him to be at
Yeah.
this point in his recovery?
Interestingly, they knew Zeke pretty well right when they met him. So they had projected, they had projected that he could be walking by December.
Wow.
And he had to take a break all summer long to heal a femur fracture that he had.
Careful, Zeke.
So he really had a long delay in his in the start of his rehab.
Yeah.
And then it took about 8 weeks.
Wow.
I know, it was crazy.
I mean, that's incredible, honestly. The fact that, because you forget, it's not just him learning to walk with his new leg, it's those injuries still healing,
Yeah.
and a lot for him to go through at just 3 years old. Zeke, we are so proud of you.
What did we just do at the doctor on Monday?
on it.
What did we just do at the doctor on Monday? Did they fit you for something?
Ooh, it sounds exciting. What'd you get done?
Yeah, what happened?
We are gonna get his next prosthetic.
Wow.
Yes.
Running leg.
A running leg. We're so excited.
That
We're
is
really
so cool.
excited.
Yes.
So this one's his learning leg,
Okay.
and he's just ready, to move forward.
I would love to hear more about the community support was such a big
yeah, for
part
sure.
of Zeke's growth. And then when the accident first happened, how have things been like for you guys through now?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a challenge. My
see this
husband
the Grinch.
had to completely stop work.
Yeah,
He's maintained a little bit as he needed to, but that's been stressful. But we've been doing an ongoing fundraiser, a medical fundraiser through Help Hope Live, and I mean, it just makes me honestly overwhelmed with gratitude how happy I am that people have supported us so fiercely. And that fundraiser is able to support us going up and down the state to go to Nemours. And to help him to be able to get any of the legs that he's going to need and attachments for different sports that he might need. And clearly he's going to be active. He's going to be starting swim at Sussex Academy.
Oh my God.
Fun.
Yes, it's very exciting.
So fun.
Oh my God.
So it'll be a low impact sport, and it'll help him to build up some strength in his leg that he can't put full weight on. So we're really excited for that, and that'll be a new year, a new year activity.
Well,
so
we're so excited for you
Look
guys.
forward to.
Can you share one more time how people can support you? Because I'm glad you mentioned things like so many legs he's going to have to need as he continues to grow, the constant trips. There's a lot of people don't think about. So how can people support you if they want to give to you?
Yeah, so helphopelive.org, Zeke Clark, Zeke, and then Clark, Clark. On that site, it's actually a tax deductible donation that you can make there, and it will just continue the ongoing journey that we have. You know, it's going to be a long journey, but we're already making such great progress, and we feel so good. So,
well, we are just so excited for you guys and your family. Zeke, I have your mic still. Is there anything you want to say? Want to speak into it?
Can you say Merry Christmas? Oh, he's the Grinch. Oh, you turned into the Grinch.
That's so funny.
Can you grab the Grinch out for me?
Yeah, please. This is
All
what
right,
he's been referencing.
Oh, goodness.
There you go. Little Grinch thing. Well,
what does the Grinch say?
the Grinch has a lot to say.
He says, you gotta take a quick break though.
All right. Merry Christmas.
No problem. Thank you guys. Merry Christmas. Good luck with everything, Zeke. We are so proud of you. Thank you guys so much for the Grinch is saying goodbye. Thank you all for your support too with the Clark family. I know that it's just incredible, and for keeping up with us. So we have more to get to. We're gonna give Zeke his mic back, and we'll be back in just a minute. Well, you guys know that we love our joke jar. We go out into the community and tell you guys some funny jokes. And for Christmas, Leah and I decided we would dress up. So, I put on a skirt and some heeled boots. But Leah had a different understanding of dress up. Hey.
He said dress up. I thought you meant dress up.
You still understood. Well, did you understand it? No.
One of us misunderstood the assignment, and it was me.
But if you're gonna misunderstand an assignment, you might as well do it as a Christmas tree. Yeah, I guess people have different understandings of when they're told to dress up.
Yeah, so if you're planning on dressing up this holiday season or throwing a dress-up party, make sure you clarify for your guests.
That's right. But it made for a great joke jar. We can't wait to show it to you, so check it out.
What do you call an obnoxious reindeer? Rudolph.
Rudolph?
Rudolph.
Okay. All right. Poor Rudolph.
That was the best one.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
Hey, that's it.
How did the two rival Christmas trees get along? How did they start to get along?
All right, how did we get along? Like two rival Christmas trees. How do we get along? They set up. They gave an olive branch. They something.
You're on the right track.
Something about a branch. Come on, help me out.
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
I don't know.
I'll tell you. They signed a peace treaty.
Oh, yes. You know, actually, I have to remember these because my nieces and nephews will appreciate this.
Here, take them with you.
Oh.
What do you call Santa when he stops moving?
I don't know. What?
I don't know.
Santa Paws.
Oh, Santa Paws.
Santa Paws.
Why would you never give Elsa your balloon to hold?
Oh, why wouldn't you do it? I don't know. Why wouldn't you give Elsa your balloon to hold?
Because she'll just let it go.
Oh, of course. That was fantastic.
Can you hear it? Can you see it? It is almost that time. The gifts under the tree. And Leah, I already have so many gifts under my tree. I don't think I can wait till Christmas to open them.
I have so many gifts that I haven't wrapped yet and put under the tree, but I'm like basically done.
And Santa hasn't even come yet.
I know.
These are just family gifts.
These are just the family gifts.
So exactly. I know you guys are feeling excited too. But does it make you reminisce?
It always does.
Just your old, your old house maybe, and it's a little smaller, and you have the fireplace going. Does it make you think of maybe your favorite gift as well?
Yeah, I think sometimes it can bring you back. There was always like that one hit gift that you wanted so badly as a kid, and then when you got it, it was like the best thing ever.
Yes.
And I think Light Bright was one of those for me. Remember, where you can make the little pictures that lit up, and you're like, yes, this is so cool. I remember my brother one year got the like the coveted Charizard Pokemon card, and Santa had hid it like in the corner somewhere. Like we thought we were all done with gifts, and he unwrapped and he was like, "Oh my God, it's the best thing ever!" So we had some real winners. Santa's so creative. We had some winners. What about you?
Yeah, my favorite Christmas gift is a childhood gift as well. Actually, it's it was, you guys are gonna make fun of me, but it's the truth. It was a little remake of McDonald's, and it was like a little McDonald's building, and it even had, you remember the old ball pits that used to be in McDonald's? It had a fake little ball pit, and so that was like the best thing ever. It had the little counter, little French fries.
Aww.
It was awesome. I think about it to this day. I wish I knew where it was to give it to my kid, but don't have it.
Don't have it.
I know. I wish I treasured it more back in the day.
That's all right.
I know.
You might be able to hunt it down somewhere. eBay is usually a good resource for that.
This would have been early 2000s, maybe late 90s. If any of you had a small diorama of McDonald's, let me know. But also let us know what you want for Christmas and your favorite Christmas gift.
Yeah.
Could give us ideas.
Could give us some ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a big football fan. That could be a gift for you. We've got some coming up on Saturday.
That's right, an early Christmas gift for you guys. Just don't forget you can tune into Coast TV Saturday for the Bengals and the Steelers. That should be a great matchup. I know we have fans of both teams here on Delmarva.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
They're in this room right now.
That's right.
They're very excited.
But it is about that time for us to get on out of here. Toss over to our friends, Coast TV News at 5. We'll take it from here. We're getting out of here. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow.